What's going on, everybody? Steve here, Raiken Profit. We are at the Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas for the eBay Open 2018. I'm here with Josh. What's going on, man? Good to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Josh is from Australia, and I think you had walked up to me and you noticed who I was, and you were like, hey man, what's going on? I sell books as well. And I want to bring him on, not only because he's been crushing it with books, and he's been sharing with me, guys, you've got to stick around for this whole video because you're not going to believe what some of his first couple book flips were on Amazon. Like, I can't believe it. Like, I haven't seen a screenshot yet, but I'm going to be asking after this video, like, just because it seems so crazy. But anyways, your name's Josh, you're from Australia. How long have you been selling books for?
Sure, so I started in April last year, April 2017.
So you're someone new.
It's quite new,
Yeah.
just over a year, watching Reezy and a few others. Started selling books and realised that I had quite a few good ones to start off with, and I still sell books.
From around the house, or were you?
No, from thrift stores and book sales and all that.
Yeah.
Then I realised I just can't get enough supply, so I started eBay in September last year.
Nice.
And by April this year, I went full-time reselling in Australia.
Wow, that's
And it's
crazy.
been a few months now. It's fantastic. Yes.
So let's take it back to, like, before you had even started reselling. Was Amazon or eBay the first platform you started on?
Amazon.
Amazon. So what made you get started? Because there's probably a lot of people watching who they're probably selling on eBay. I know a lot of you guys are eBay sellers and they want to get started with Amazon. What made you get started? Was it a YouTube video? Was it you were working a job and you just didn't have the money and you were just sick and tired of clocking in, clocking out? What made you get started?
Sure. So I've been wanting to sell on Amazon for a few years.
Yeah.
Private label. The entry cost to sell private label is high, $5,000, $10,000.
Right.
Whereas when I stumbled on these guys, such as yourself,
Yeah.
selling books on Amazon, I realised the much lower cost of entry and the fact that you've got massively high profit margins and they sell quickly too.
Yeah.
So you can get your money back quite quickly.
Yeah.
Source for low cost. The price for me is a little bit higher, of course, because I've got to ship from Australia to the US.
And we're going to talk about the shipping prices because it's,
Yes.
I don't know how you do it, but anyways.
It works.
Yeah. Cool. So, like you said, well, I don't know if you said it, but there's a bunch of books all over. The profit
Yes.
margins were high. It didn't take a lot of money for you to get started with it. So
Yeah.
you dove into it. How did you learn how to start, like, analyzing books and scanning books? Like,
Just digest the content. There are a lot of book selling videos on YouTube by a lot of people, and just go through them. You'll learn the process quite quickly. Choose the right app. I use Scout IQ, which is, I think, a lot of people have come from FBA.
yeah, I just interviewed Caleb Roth.
Caleb's blog
He's
is
amazing.
fantastic.
The book flip, is it the Book Flipper? Yeah.
Yes, that's correct.
Great resource,
Yes,
for sure.
and also if you can't source in the field, you
Yeah.
can use eFLIP as well.
Have you messed with eFLIP at all? Because I've been doing
I
a
have.
couple tutorials. eFLIP's it's a software that allows you to buy undervalued books on from merchant Amazon sellers and then flip it on Amazon FBA for a
Yeah.
higher price.
Yes, I've used it.
Oh, you have?
Yes, I've used it to buy some of the books I've sold previously at a profit.
Oh, cool.
But I've stopped doing it just because I prefer going into the field at the moment.
Plus, also, it costs quite a bit more to invest in a book from sourcing off of eFLIP versus going into the.
Yes.
Because and that's a good segue into, like, your shipping prices, because you might spend $30 on a book through eFLIP buying from a merchant to sell for $100, but then you've got to take into consideration your shipping costs.
Mhm.
For me, if I ship in, let's just say 30 books and it costs, 30 books and it's about 50 pounds, 49
Yes.
pounds, that might cost me, I'm not gonna lie to you, like maybe like $8 or $9. Because I'm in Connecticut and I can ship to, like, New Jersey. So it's really close. If I ship to, like, California, it might be like $18.
Yes.
What's it cost for you to ship out 50 pounds?
50 pounds is 150 US.
$150 US. That is 10 times the price
Yes.
of what us in the States are accustomed to shipping. So you've got to take that into consideration.
Of course, I've got to go for the textbooks that are selling, $40, $60, $100, and because anything I'm not going to make any money for anything less than $15. I'm going to break even. I've really go minimum 20. But I really want to be going for 40.
Because it's kind of rough for us at a $15 mark, even in the States, unless it's like a small paperback.
Exactly right. So I need to be looking for them.
Yeah.
I can do those smaller ones at eBay, no problem. I'll do them all day. But I need to, for FBA, need to be in that higher range.
Wow, so that's cool. So you've been selling since, you said, April? So,
yes.
So it's been about May, June, so about a year and 3 months, 15, 16 months. What type of results have you gotten since then? Because this is really cool. You know, it's been 15, 16 months. Where are you in your business? Where'd you start? What are you selling per month?
Yeah, sure. So I've just done a pretty gradual climb. We'll get into it in a moment, the first few books that sold. But yeah, it's been a gradual climb. I'm $5,000 to $6,000 a month now in US dollars.
That's really, congrats, man.
Thank you. And it's 50 to 60% profit on that. Wow. So that's almost a full-time income, or probably a half income, depending on what you can live on.
How's living costs and stuff in Australia?
Pretty similar.
Pretty similar?
Yes.
I know the I had a friend there, and he's like, dude, the bananas are so expensive. Like, a lot of fruits and veggies are really expensive in Australia, right?
Some things are more expensive, but, you know, it depends on how you want to live. And then, of course, 50% of my income is FBA, 50% of my income is eBay Australia. So put that together, I'm a full-time reseller.
What are you selling on eBay?
Okay, books, clothing, wetsuits. I do quite well. Wetsuits.
Wow.
Some electronics. I do want to do clothing. I want to get back. I started with clothing on eBay.
Yeah.
Quickly realised there's a higher return rate.
Yep.
I'm not measuring properly and not getting good light in my photos. But now that I've got a good setup, I do want to come back to clothing when I see you and Rowdy and Daily Refinement, and you guys are all killing it with clothing. I want to get back into it.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. So before we get into some of these bolos, I wanted to ask you, and trust me guys, you're not going to believe these. These are like incredible. What are your goals for your book selling business over the next, 4 or 5 months, closing off 2018, going into 2019?
I continue to scale it. You know, I want to get into that 10 to 15,000 a month range for sales. Continue to even refine it more, because I'm still picking out books at the $20 to $30 mark, which I'm making more slimmer margins. I want to get more refined and we're only really going to go for the things that are going to make sense in terms of profit margin. Right. Because I may source a book and it may have a $10 profit margin, but it may not sell for 6 to 12 months, or may not even sell at all. So I really have to refine on
being a little more strategic. Reading those Keepa charts.
Yes.
Right.
Exactly right.
Caleb Roth has a lot of cool information. About going after long tail, and he has the what's that score that he has? It's called the
E-score.
Yeah, the E-score.
Yes.
Which kind of gives you the E-score. If any of you guys use Scout IQ or the eFLIP software from Caleb Roth, highly recommended. Check it out. He has an analytic called E-score, which is essentially how many times the book has sold in is it a 6-month period or a 3-month period?
I think I'm not actually sure.
Yeah,
it's one of those.
It's one of those. Okay.
One of those, and you can then confirm that.
Yeah.
Go and keep it.
Right.
Just in case you want to be sure, especially if it's over 2 million rank, you want to go back and check.
Because a lot of people, they look at, and for the longest time, I would look at a sales rank of 2 million, and I'd be like, oh, that's really high. And it is, it's getting up there, but if a book sells at 2 mil, it's going to drop down to like a couple 100,000.
Yes.
And over a couple week period, if it doesn't sell, it can rise back up to that. So the sales rank, for anyone out there who's wondering what it is and how it works, it's a moving average.
Yes.
It's not a static measurement.
Especially now, we're coming into textbook season very soon. August is very hot for textbooks, so that 2 million rank could drop down to 200,000 quite quickly.
Drop down to 50,000.
50,000, even. Yeah. So it just depends on what you're willing to wait for,
right? And
if you can time it right.
What are your thoughts on maybe there's some Australian resellers who are watching right now? I know that Josh had mentioned that there weren't a lot of Australian competitors that you would see at various thrift stores and book sales, and also there weren't a lot of YouTubers. Shout out to Cody Orgel.
Right, Cody Orgel. Yes.
Yeah, he's one. But what are your thoughts? What's your advice to anyone in Australia right now who's watching this? Like, holy crap! Like, there's somebody in Australia talking about this. This is a miracle.
Yes. Look, it is. There are textbooks in Australia, of course, that we can buy and we can resell on Amazon US. The quantity is not as great. Our thrift stores or op shops are much smaller. Here it's warehouses. In Australia it's much smaller, like tennis court size at the most, on average. And so what you're going to want to be looking for is finding those op shops that have a higher quantity of textbooks, and just keeping them in your mind, saying I'm only going to go to these ones. So I have a route of what I go to all the time because I know they're going to have textbooks, but got to be prepared that quite often you will walk out empty-handed. Sometimes you find 1, 2, if you're lucky you'll find 3 textbooks that can be sold on Amazon FBA, and they're probably not going to be a high profit. So if you're looking at this reselling books onto Amazon US as a thing that you could quit your job, I'm a full-time reseller and I cannot get to a full-time income.
Wow.
On reselling textbooks.
You just can't get enough.
Just cannot get enough. The quantity is just not there. So you consider doing that, but also putting it in eBay, which is exactly what I've done.
Multiple income streams.
You do need to have 2. If we had Poshmark as well, I would have Poshmark.
You don't have Poshmark yet?
We do not have Poshmark. But you guys are so lucky. Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, for anyone out there in Australia, hopefully you found value in that advice. You know, obviously you can make money from it. In Australia, I mean, what part are you in?
I'm on the Gold Coast.
So there's, do you know of any other areas that do well? Have you talked to anybody else? I know you said there weren't a lot of resellers.
Okay, so I've been to Gold Coast, Brisbane, Sydney, Canberra, Adelaide. I've sourced in all those cities. I haven't sourced in Melbourne yet, and I haven't sourced in Perth, so there may be some hot spots in there that I haven't touched. What I can say is Sydney is actually, despite being a very educationally rich city, you would expect there to be lots of textbooks. However, because it's also an expensive city, that op shops are very small, which means the textbook supply is very minimal, which means I almost waste my trips in Sydney. I don't really do Sydney much anymore. Good for clothing, good for other types of things that you might sell on eBay, but for textbooks for FBA, I don't really do much in Sydney.
Cool. Awesome. So let's finish things off with what everyone's waiting for right now. Let's talk about some of these incredible books that you found and sold. A lot of people, they get started selling books, I found, and they kind of give up because they're not able to find these higher end books. Maybe their first couple books they make $1, $3, $5. They're trying to figure out how to source. They don't understand that you have to go at certain times. You have to be consistent. You have to scan a lot to find a book. People give up quick. They do, and it's disheartening because you guys can do it. Trust me. I taught my mom. She's 63 years old. Mama Prophet. Shout out to you. Literally, she just retired. She's on Social Security. She couldn't even live off what they paid, and now she's able to supplement her income by buying and selling books. And I was just showing Josh, she just sent me a text and she's like, Steven, all those books that I sent in sold. $383 in sales today.
Crazy.
But the point I'm trying to make is, you can definitely do it. And he kind of had it easy because he had some crazy sales at first. He's like, okay, this works. So talk to the people about your first couple sales.
Okay, so
15 months back.
I had a low amount of money to start this with. I started it on Amazon, and I'm going to use Australian dollars because it's easier. Yeah. But it's just less than $200. The exchange rate between Australia and the US is almost similar.
Sure.
So what I did is my first shipment was 7 textbooks, right?
7 textbooks.
Just 7.
What was it, like $80 shipping?
About 120 for 7. Imagine that.
Wow.
Yes. Now,
I'm sorry. It's crazy.
I know.
We have it so good here.
Yes. They arrived in Amazon after like 2 weeks or something. Checked in and went live.
Yep.
In week 1, I sold my first textbook. I paid $5 for this, and I sold it
$5,
and I sold it for $90.
$90. So $5 to $90.
Yeah.
So after fees and everything, with your $10 shipping fee and this and that, you probably made like $50, $60 or so.
Yes, something around that figure. Second week came along and I sold the second book.
Yeah.
I paid $8 for this and I sold it for $210.
$8 to $210.
That was, yeah.
So you only have 7 books in your inventory.
I know, right? So I'm like, oh wow, this couldn't actually work. Okay. Third week came around, and this book is a medical textbook, and I bought it for $10.
Drum roll, please.
Bought it for $10.
$10. Medical
and this
textbook.
is completely genuine. I have the
Authentic.
sales record to prove it.
Okay.
I sold it for $1,480.
$1,480. Guys, I've never even heard it. You know what the craziest thing is, man? I've interviewed Resells. I've interviewed Caleb Roth, all these people. Greg Murphy, I don't know if you know who he is, with Busproof.
Yes,
I've never heard, what is that in US dollars?
That is $1,200.
$1,200.
Yes.
You sold a book for a medical textbook. How in the world did this thing sell for that much? What is this book?
Okay.
I mean, you don't have to give it away if you're flipping
it's
it.
Something about surgical anatomy, human anatomy.
That's
quite. It had about 1 million rank, so it was selling once a month, twice.
Were there any merchants selling it?
Yes.
What were the merchants at?
Here's the crazy part.
Yeah.
I was the cheapest seller.
Wow.
I was sold at $1,480, so that's about $1,200 US. The next guy was about $1,700 US. And then there was quite a few in the $3,000 to $4,000 range.
Is this some advanced book for like a resident who's in like med school or something so specific?
Very specific.
It probably wasn't some like mass-produced course where there's like 1,000 students in it.
No, it was quite specific.
That is insane.
Now, yes, so that's the first part that was phenomenal. The second part is that I live in Australia.
Yeah.
And I bought it about 20 minutes from my place.
Yeah.
It shipped from Australia all the way here to the US, to Tennessee, to the
warehouse.
Yeah. To the lady was 10 minutes down the road. I thought maybe I had made a mistake that, maybe I bought it or something, but it's just, I couldn't believe it. I saw the address and, 10 minutes down the road, I took the name and put her name into Google. And lo and behold, she works for my state's health service. Wow. And so she's like a director, like high up in the medical ward and stuff. So I thought, it's very likely she's just bought it on the government's credit card, which means I could have probably put the price up twice as high because, again, I was the only seller on the FBA.
Yeah.
And therefore, if I'm the only seller on the FBA and probably the only one offering international shipping,
wow,
that's guaranteed, right? So this is where you want to consider selling FBA because you've got a worldwide marketplace.
So if you're FBA, you can't sell internationally if you're a merchant?
I don't believe.
I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not sure.
Yeah. Either way.
Yeah, either way.
Somebody will help us out in the comments below.
Yes.
But that's crazy. Were you counting the days back for what's the refund period on those books?
30 days, I believe.
Were you counting it? We're like, oh, please don't.
I was concerned because, of course,
keep the money in the bank account.
Yeah, Amazon pays you, and then they'll take that out of your balance after. But having that first payment, which was after fees and all that, that was probably over $1,000 US. And I'm like, so I've gone from this little bit of money to, okay, I've got a lot of money now to buy books.
All right, time to go private label. No,
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, this was to lead myself into private label.
Yeah.
And now that I'm full-time reseller, of course, I'm going to do this. I'm working on a private label product at the moment.
That's awesome.
And probably by this time next year, I'll have 2
cool
on Amazon. And that's where I want to move to because it's great going in the field and reselling. But, oftentimes you go to garage sales and you go out empty-handed and you start to have a lousy day and you do 5 or 6 thrift stores and you've just got nothing and you're like, whereas you can just stay at home and reorder.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, that's his story, Josh. Appreciate you. And you also have an Instagram as well if you guys want to follow him. Maybe you're in Australia and maybe you just want to, check out his journey. What is your Instagram?
Receleration. It's kind of like acceleration, the continuous growth, but receleration.
Awesome. So at the beginning of this video, I'm going to have it linked up and I'll also put that down in the description below. Yeah. But Josh, appreciate you, man. Hopefully you're enjoying the eBay Open and good luck on your goals in 2018.
Yes, thank you.
All right, guys. Take care.
Bye.